Welcome,
Welcome.
Housewives of True Crime.
Welcome.
Welcome. So, what's up?
You look nice.
Oh,
Why do you look so nice?
well, I'm going to
You got a
Vegas.
little extra something going on.
Do I? It's lip
Yeah.
gloss. It's lip
Oh, is
gloss.
it
hmm
for
And
me or did you go somewhere special?
no, I'm going to Vegas tonight.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah.
So I thought since we're recording, I can just put a little extra so I don't have to do
Oh,
anything when I
yeah.
get
I
to
like to
Vegas,
do that. I like to arrive on the scene full made up.
In Vegas, you have to.
Yeah, you
You
have
don't
to.
you don't want to be walking through the casino like a smug, you
No.
know?
No.
So, and we land at like 10 o'clock at night. So it's full force right when we get there.
Oh, right on. Rock
Yeah,
star. We are actually have no plans. This is the first week in all summer we have no plans.
I know.
It's a glorious thing, but, we're fucking sick.
Dude, how are you sick again? I thought you were better.
I think we're on the up, but, I mean, we're definitely, not gonna be socializing,
Yeah.
keeping the distance, if you have, the littlest cough right now, it's like, "Ooh, the
Yeah,
plague,
totally.
COVID."
Oh, you know what? I did my makeup and I just remembered they put the mask mandate back in Vegas.
Oh, yeah, I got
I
the
still
email
need the
from the
eyes.
school that the kids will be masked at school in California.
Yeah. My friend I talked to today, she's from Orange County. She's like, no way, not Orange County.
Yeah.
Yep.
But, I'm okay with it as long as they get to go back.
Yeah.
I am so over this shit. I never wanna homeschool again. Not my jam. I think my kids are in for a rude awakening. I got a little taste of that actually. They've been going to swim lessons, and their swim teacher is, kind of a hard ass,
hmm
which you'd think that I would be like, "Oh, don't be such a hard ass," but I'm like, "No, give it to him, sister. Give it to him." She talks to them like, why aren't you listening? Hello? Your arm is bent, I keep telling you, you keep,"
Yeah.
I'm, cracking up because
I
that's
think
how
it's
I talk to
good.
them.
Yeah, it's good. I think, my girlfriend took her kids to swim lessons. Or was it you? Who no, it was Sally. She took her kid to swim lessons, and I guess she didn't fill out the paperwork, she didn't read through the email. By the way, she has 4 kids, so, like, I think it's good she
Who
just
has
got
time
her
for the
two-year-old to
emails? Yeah,
swim lessons,
yeah.
and the lady was like, "Sorry, no swim for you today. You didn't do what I said." I'm like, "Oh, I would have been like, 'You're gonna give my kid swim lessons.'"
Really?
No.
So she
Yeah.
straight, kicked the kid out of the swim?
Yep.
No, this lady's not, that hardcore, but it does make the kids listen, and they are improving. It's working. I mean, she's not mean, but she's not
Right.
messing around.
I
I think
like
it's a
that.
good balance.
I
Yeah.
think that is also really good for a teacher too in school, then because you got those pushover teachers that then they're just coming to you like, "Oh, your kid's not listening or your kid's not doing this." And it's like, handle the business, take over your class.
Oh,
Like
no.
you do you.
Yeah.
You gotta take some control, especially with 30 little munchkins running around.
Yeah, I'm just saying, my concern about going back to school is that my kids they've had too much freedom.
They have had a lot of freedom.
So, we're trying to rein it in here. We got a new couch, okay?
You
Came with a
can't eat
lot of
on it.
rules.
I know. You said, "Nope, new rule. Cannot eat on the
No
couch."
eating on the couch, And I mean business. I had to chat with the husband, like, "Okay, we cannot send these kids back to school being the freaking wild animals that they are. So
Like
let's
your,
start making some rules around here."
Wild Wild Country. That reminds me of your bonus crime
Oh
you
my
just did
god, yeah, it was
last
so
week. If
wild,
you
wild
guys
country.
wanna hear about it, head to patreon.com/housewives of true crime, and Gretchen did a good one about bongwash.
Tab calls him bong wash. Bagwan.
His name is
Yeah.
Bagwan, but it sounds like
Bong
bongwash.
wash is good, right? Oh my
Uh,
god, Tabby.
sure they were doing some of that,
Yeah.
right?
Okay, well, I have a story about wild, wild horses. Do you wanna hear it?
Yes, I love that song, by the way.
Okay. Oh my god, so good, right?
Yes, okay,
Yeah,
give it to
okay.
me.
Okay, Tab. Today's case is brought to us by listener suggestion, but they asked me not to mention their name. So, hey,
You're not.
listener, you know who you are. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. This case takes place out of Dixon, Illinois. Dixon's claim to fame is for being the hometown of former President Ronald Reagan.
No way.
Ronnie.
Before
So
he came.
Alex P. Keaton, that's what I
Oh.
think of when I think of Ronald Reagan. Am I right?
Yeah. I
I
mean,
love Michael J.
who
Fox.
who did not love Ronald Reagan?
Who didn't? I think a lot of people didn't love Ronald Reagan. There's a big thing about Social Security in him, but who
Oh,
everybody loves Michael J. Fox,
well, everybody loves Michael J. Fox, but I thought
right?
he's a very loved president.
Yeah,
Doesn't I don't know
I
about the
think it's
social thing.
debatable.
Okay.
Okay. I
Okay,
mean,
well,
I loved him,
listen,
but
I was born
I don't think
right around
talking
the time that
politics is our jam.
it isn't. I'm just saying I was born
No,
around the same time, and there's a Ronald Reagan museum right by where I lived, so
for
just
real,
kinda,
there is. I mean, yeah, he used to eat in Santa Barbara, which is my old hood. They've got pictures of him up.
yeah,
It's a thing. I
it's a
thought he
thing.
was pretty cool. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, I found my dream home in Dixon, Illinois on 10 acres with 2 barns and a pool for $940,000.
Wow, that's amazing, but you do know it's cold as heck up there in the winter.
Okay, that might be the downfall. But
Yeah.
for around 350, you can still buy a very nice home. I mean, this was like my dream home. It's a town of about 15,000.
Mhm.
Okay, not big. It's got a cute little downtown. I could live there. I might freeze, but I could live there. Okay?
'Kay.
Especially if I had horses like Miss Rita Cundwell did. I certainly don't need as many as Rita, though. She owned more than 300.
My god, that sounds expensive.
Oh my gosh, she got to owning so many that she had to keep some of them at her boyfriend's place about an hour away in Beloit, Wisconsin. Yeah, it does sound expensive, right? I
Yeah,
love horses. I had just started taking lessons before I had kids. Someday I want to get back into it.
yeah, when you're retired.
I do always say that, don't I? Like, I want a horse ride
You can come
thing.
here, there's lots of horses around here.
Yeah, there's horses around here too. Okay, well, Rita was into quarter horses. Quarter horses was a new term to me, so let me explain. It's a specific breed of horse that is very popular. Quarter horses are used as show horses, race horses, and rodeo horses. They are fast and very agile, so people love them. I read you can buy a quarter horse for $2,500 to $10,000, but a stallion could run ya 100,000
Oh,
on up and up and up and up and up. So, quite the
yeah,
range,
yeah.
but quarter horses can be very pricey. From what I gather, there is money to be made showing horses, but I think for the most part, it is mostly an expensive hobby for the people that do it. It's like a lot of bragging rights within their horse circle buddies, you know? The whole
Hmm,
horse world is a thing.
okay.
Okay. I found so many horse forums and magazines when I was researching this. It all reminds me of that movie, Let's Give 'Em Something to Talk About with Dennis Quaid.
I don't think I ever saw it.
Oh my God. It is when Dennis Quaid was in his prime. He was so hot. It was right around the time we actually ran into him in Vegas. Do you remember that,
Yes,
Tab?
I remember that.
Oh my God. Yeah. He was very
Okay.
nice to us.
Yes, he was very
Yeah, he
nice to
was.
us.
Okay.
Who wouldn't be? We were like 20 something.
Oh
Cute.
my God. Mhm. We were one with a bunch of idiots, though. So,
Totally. We were with
what are you gonna do?
oh, I don't know.
Okay. Well,
Move on. That's
anyways,
what we were gonna do.
it's a great movie. I recommend.
Okay.
Okay. So, Miss Rita with the 300 quarter horses in 2011 is a bit of a fancy pants, as you can imagine. She was quite the big deal in horse circles. She won titles all the time. She has like this room of her trophies. She had been showing horses since 1978 as a humble young woman at the age of 25. And in 2012, at 55, she rolled up on the scene in a motor coach fit for a rock star that costs over $2 million.
Where's she getting this money?
Well, that's kind of the whole point of the case, Taps. So
Okay.
let's talk about that. Okay. She now owned 10 hand painted horse trailers that had flat screen TVs, stand up showers,
What?
microwave ovens in them. The freaking horse trailers, right? She wore furs and all of the top of the line Western wear.
Oh my God. I need to see this woman. I can picture her in my mind right now.
Oh, yeah. Listen, that Western wear does not come cheap. You can
Oh,
spend some serious dollars on Western fling. I read an article in Chicago Magazine where a fellow horse competitor was explaining what it was like when Rita rolled in. She says she was a showstopper all on her own, even without the horses. She said, I went to look at a couple of the blouses she wore. The used ones were $1,800 a pop, and Rita did not wear used. I thought, gadzooks.
is that what you
That's what
said?
the lady
Gadzooks?
said. I just love the gadzooks part.
I was like, that
Yeah.
that wasn't your made up word?
No, that was a legit quote. Yeah.
Um,
Okay, so
she's fancy pants. Rita is fancy pants.
yeah, Rita's fancy pants. Okay, side note, Rita is an attractive lady, very fit, blonde hair, but it doesn't appear that she spent a dime on Botox. And you can tell she spent a lot of time in the sun. I'm just saying, if you have the money, Botox before blouses, right?
Well, clearly, if you're spending at least $2,000 on a blouse, you can spend 400 bucks on a little
500 on
Botox.
Botox? Yeah.
Um, Let me tell you, just side note, I
Mhm.
just think it's ironic her name is Rita
Oh,
because I
yeah.
have a feeling it has something to do with some moolah.
Someone being a liar
Mm-hmm.
that takes people's money.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know a Rita like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Okay, so this Rita Cundwell's backstory is she had grown up in Dixon on her family farm, and her mother showed horses as a hobby. Rita was a bright student and started working for the city of Dixon while she was still in high school. They had like a work study program.
Mhm.
And she just continued on working for the city for all these years. She had worked her way up from secretary to the city comptroller, which I didn't know what a city comptroller was.
Is it
Let me,
controller?
no, comptroller.
Oh, what is that?
What that means, a comptroller supervises expenditures, kind of like a treasurer, like the head treasurer,
Are you sure it's
HBIC
not a
treasurer.
controller?
I
Because a
am
controller,
positive it's not a controller.
a controller is
Okay.
like a finance person
I know what
also.
a fucking controller is. It's a
Okay.
comptroller. Okay.
Comptroller. I mean, never heard of
Okay.
that,
As
but
a comptroller,
sure it's not a
she made a
comptroller?
I knew you were gonna say that. No.
Come on.
She although she did breed horses, so she was in control of a lot of
Okay.
just
I
saying.
knew it.
Okay. Okay. As a comptroller, she made a respectable income of around $80,000 in 2011. Rita had been married once from 1974 to 1986 to one Jerry Crundwell. They never had any children. When the couple split, Rita got the house valued at $80,000 and her 6-year-old Oldsmobile Cutlass. and he got to keep his truck. So I tell you this because we know she's not making that much money at
Millions?
her position at the city.
Right.
Clearly she didn't clean up in her divorce. So the question really is, how did Rita get so rich?
Mhm.
Was her quarter horse breeding and showing that profitable? Well, maybe. I mean,
Yeah.
she did win hundreds of thousands of dollars in prize money. But the thing is, people that understand a lot more than we do about how the horse business works assumed she must have come from old money because the upkeep for all those horses is a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot for people with lots of money to keep up with. There was a rumor floating around the horse crowd that her family were early investors in Campbell Soup.
That would
Yeah,
do something for you.
that would do something, right? But it still kind of begs the question, one way or another, Rita clearly has a lot of money, so why hang on to that job at the city?
Yeah.
Who wants to be buried in bookkeeping paperwork when you could be playing with horses? Why was it that Rita, who was as flashy as they come on the horse circuit, showing up at her city job for 30 years, modestly dressed, and driving an old truck to work when she had a fleet of F-650s at her ranch? Do you know what
Okay.
an F-650 is, Tab?
Well, listen, I don't think I've seen one. I can imagine how big it is because I've seen like an F-250.
Both of our husbands are fans of trucks. This is I had to look it up.
Yeah.
It's a whole lot better than anything they have.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So Rita's taking city money.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Rita's got it in
So
her hands in lots of
her
different
being
pots.
flashy on the horse circuit and modest at her city job, it doesn't ding ding ding. It doesn't make sense unless perhaps you are hanging on to your city job because you are using it as a way to commit the biggest municipal fraud in history to the tune of embezzling $53 million over the course of 20 years to fund your fancy horses and your Western bling.
Oh my goodness gracious. That is a lot of money to embezzle.
It's the biggest municipal fraud in history.
Wow. How
Yeah.
did they not catch that?
Well, I'm going to tell you.
Okay, thanks.
So, over the course of 20 years of Rita's 30-year career at the city, she stole millions from the small town of Dixon, and this is how she did it. The city had 6 different accounts at Fifth Third Bank.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
They're a big bank. Have you heard of them?
No.
I have. I used to have a car payment to them. I
Of course
actually
you did.
overpaid. I overpaid my loan, and that damn bank still owes me $30.
I'm surprised they didn't send you a check for that.
Yeah, they're um, I mean, I don't know if I have to say, like, allegedly, but I would say their customer service blows because I'm the bitch that follows up on that shit.
You are. You're so
Yeah.
good at that.
Yeah, I am. So, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So, 6 different accounts at Fifth Third Bank. These were all legit accounts with city funds, which everyone was aware of, right?
Mhm.
But in 1990, Rita created another account at the same bank with the other city accounts and named it Reserve Sewer Capital Development Account, RSCDA. So it appeared to just be an additional city account,
Mhm.
but Rita was the only signer. How she managed to fund this account was she created fake invoices and she would bill the legit accounts. She would then move the money into this secret account by writing a check made out to treasurer, which was her. But if people ever saw it, they would assume it was the Illinois state treasurer, you know?
You're right.
She was writing checks for, like, tax purposes, okay? So, from that point, she wrote personal checks out of the account, the RSCDA account, to whatever. It's not all that complicated what she actually did
It
and
doesn't sound
got
like
away
it.
with
Yeah.
for so long. Rita committed this act 179 times. These invoices she created, by the way, were nothing special. They're like Word documents that were missing company logos and phone numbers. But no one ever questioned Rita. The city is actually also required to be audited every single year by a private company, and they performed the audits, and this company is one of the top 10 auditing co companies in the country. But none of the auditors thought twice about anything Rita submitted. I mean, I think it helped that people really liked Rita at the city, so they weren't likely to question her.
No, and she's worked there for 20 something years. Like,
Yeah.
when did she start doing this? How many years in, I
She
wonder?
started in 1990. She started working for the city in 1978, I think.
So she didn't even start for 12 year
Yeah.
what is that, 12
Well, she
years?
didn't have the she didn't have she
Oh,
wasn't
that
high enough up. She
position.
started as a secretary.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think the obvious lesson is, I mean, you can't have just one person in charge of all the money.
Man,
But that
she
happens a lot, I think, in small towns. I
I
mean,
can't
Dixon's only 15,000 people.
I can't even imagine thinking to do something like this. Like, where in your mind are you like, you're secretary, and then you get to be controller, and you're like, man, I
Oh,
could,
I mean, I think it gets the best of people. You just have to have no matter how much you trust someone, you have to have multiple signers and checks
oh,
and balances to keep
for
people
sure,
honest.
for sure. Yeah.
Okay, so a woman named Kath Swanson worked under Rita, and she was responsible for submitting a treasurer's report, and she needed some of the city bank statements to do so. Now, per Rita's instructions, she would usually call the bank and always ask for the specific statements she needed. But on this particular day, Rita was out of town, and Kath thought, shoots, I'm not going to all that trouble and ask for specifics. I'm just going to go ahead, tell the bank, send them all over to me.
Mhm.
Well, that resulted in Kath getting her eyes on the statement for the RSCDA account, which also was listed as care of Rita Cundwell.
And she was like,
So
"What is this? I never saw that before."
that's right.
Mhm.
So she was not familiar with this account, which raised red flags immediately to her. And so, you know, she opened it and found deposits for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Kath could not think of any logical reason for the city funds to end up in an account that she didn't account for. That was kind of her business. And we're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars, which was bad enough. She never dreamed that she was about to blow the whistle on the embezzlement of over $53 million.
God.
After a couple days of thinking about how she was going to handle ratting out Rita, who she had worked for years and she liked, she decided to tell the mayor. Mayor Burke had been the mayor of Dixon for like 16 years, and he liked Rita too.
Mhm.
When Kath showed him the statements, his initial reaction was there must be a reason for this. And he didn't want to outright accuse Rita of anything unless he was 100% sure she was guilty.
I
S-
agree with that.
Yes, I think the mayor handled it very appropriately. He made a pact with Kath to keep it between the two of them and take the evidence to the FBI and let them figure it out. The FBI told them, "Yeah, you've got yourself one shady city comptroller, but we're going to
Comptroller.
need to do some investigating to see
Comptroller.
who else knows about this and maybe a part of Rita's scam." So for 6 months, Kath and the mayor kept the ongoing investigation to themselves, like not even telling their families or
Wow.
anything. And they kept exchanging pleasantries with Rita on the days she came into work, all the while slipping the FBI any documents they requested on the side. Over those 6 months, they watched Rita transfer $1.5 million to herself. So, it killed them to go about, business as usual.
Oh my god, I know. Could you imagine
Oh my
walking
God, I
in
would have had
every
diarrhea
day?
every day if I was Kath.
Yeah.
Like, it would have killed me. Yeah. So, the FBI never found any evidence that Rita hadn't acted alone, but this does perplex me because it seems to me Rita's longtime boyfriend, the one who was storing a bunch of her horses,
Mhm.
would have had to have known there was something unusual about how Rita made her money. People say he was always with her, um, you know, on the horse circuit, and the two threw extravagant parties.
But and he knew that she was the comptroller.
I mean, don't you think he would have to know that?
I mean, I yes. So, I guess she could just have said it's from family money. You know what I mean? Like, I just have this job because I like it. There are people
Yeah, I'm
like
not
that,
saying
you
he was
know?
in on it, but I am very curious as to know how all these people
What
didn't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm curious
okay.
to know, what did she say to him?
What did she say
Like,
to him?
you're dr and does he know she's driving this Humpty Dumpty truck over to the job and wearing,
I don't
brown
know. I
slacks?
imagine. I don't know. He also owned his own horse ranch, so he knows like the ins and outs of the business. I would just think he might wonder how come the breeding and selling of quarter horses wasn't as lucrative for him.
Right? He's
I mean, hello.
Or
How
maybe she was just funding his lifestyle, and so he didn't give a damn if where the money was coming from, just as
right?
long as, like, it was going
He's like, all I know is
his
my
way.
boo's a baller.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Sometimes
maybe.
sometimes you don't ask the question. I mean, I think a lot of women do that,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. You have a point. Okay, but so then there was her family. I mean, they certainly knew that she didn't come from Campbell Soup money. Okay. Rita owned 20% of the family business, which raises show cattle. She
Okay.
lived on the 6-acre farm that she grew up on, but like she had completely remodeled it.
I'm sure.
And in addition to that, she owned an 80-acre property with a 20,000 square foot barn and horse stables that her family leased part of from her. She also owned a fat pad in Florida. I just can't help but wonder when they saw her $2 million RV, why they didn't
Oh
wonder
my
how
gosh.
did she acquire that with her 20% of the business and her city comptroller job.
I don't
I just think
know.
it's a little sus. Okay. But they've never been tied to it. So, I mean, it's pure speculation.
I think it's called the
None of
don't
Rita's,
ask, don't tell kind of thing.
I guess, right? They've never been named as, co-conspirators or anything like that, okay? Yeah, so you're right. Maybe people just don't, go about biting the hand that's feeding them. Maybe she told them she won the lottery. Maybe she told them she was also working as a cam girl. I mean, I don't know, okay?
The
We'll never
first
know, I
scam
don't
girl.
think, okay? So, on April 17th, 2012, Rita went into work at the city like it was any other day, but when the mayor asked her to come chat in his office, he left her to explain herself to the FBI agents.
Yeeks.
She spilled her guts for about an hour and a half before asking for an
Oh,
attorney.
wow, Rita. You do not
Rita.
listen to the true crime.
No, she doesn't. She told them she might be responsible for misappropriating around $10 million. At that point, they had estimated 30 million. They figured out the final $53 million number after they raided her house and found her own carefully kept records of
Oh
all
my.
her fraudulent transactions.
Oh, Rita.
Rita, 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 you don't keep that shit in writing.
I don't even know if it matters between like 10 and 53 million
Oh my
anyways.
God,
I
it's
mean,
so bad, right? Okay.
yeah.
When Rita was charged and it made the news, the townspeople were shocked. For one, they couldn't imagine that their little town even had that much money to steal,
Well, they're like, that is all our money. We're our tax paying money, right?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
The
mean, those
price
potholes, they're not getting filled.
exactly. They weren't getting filled. The price the city had paid over the years as a result of Rita's greed is really sad. The city was in debt, streets and infrastructure went unrepaired, people lost jobs. And the town should have been thriving, like the neighboring town that had like a similar demographic and population and income. They always had a surplus of money to put back into the community.
Yeah.
No one could
Well,
figure out why, Dixon didn't.
53 million bucks is a lot of money.
Yeah, especially in a town of 15,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So people did not just blame Rita when they learned the details. They were like, what the hell? City of Dixon, are y'all blind? They had some questions for the bank as well. Like when someone writes a check for a $2 million RV out of a city account, y'all don't think that's sus?
I think it
And
is.
I would think so. I would think that a couple of people get eyes on $2 million checks. Okay.
And you should. $2 million is a lot of money
Right?
to come out at one time. To
Right.
come out anytime. But I
You
mean,
would think that would get eyes on people in just a regular account. But a city account,
yeah.
you would think, like, say you're working at the local bank, wouldn't you think, like, wow, I can't wait to see this City of Dixon wrapped fancy AF RV rolling around town, you know?
I cannot even imagine spending $2 million on an RV, period.
It
I
did look
mean,
pretty awesome.
dude,
Yeah.
I have seen those ones, on Cribs or whatever, but you only spend so much time. I mean, I guess if you lived in it, but even then, it's like you could buy a freaking amazing house for 2 million bucks.
Or a boat. I love the boats.
Uh,
Yeah.
like a live-on boat, like a
Yeah. Yeah.
like a yacht.
Yeah. I'd rather live on a boat than an RV.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, oh,
Yeah.
yes, sure.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, they also had questions for the auditors like, how have you not managed to verify millions of dollars
Yes,
in
tell us that.
invoices that are basically just a Word document with no logos on them? That seems a little bananas.
It does.
Okay. So, I mean, everybody is kind of being looked at right now. So, Rita was able to bond out for only $4,500.
What?
Well, her accounts were frozen, and I guess the judge didn't deem her a flight risk.
Dude, I would, like, think she would be out the door to her house in Mexico that she might have bought
If she was yeah, if she was
in
smart,
in
yeah.
hopes.
Well, before she had even begun to negotiate her plea, she agreed to a forfeiture of all her horses.
Mm,
It costs about $200,000 a month to care for them,
I knew it.
and the
That is
marshals were
so
picking
much
up the bill, right?
money.
So they needed those horses to have new owners ASAP.
Yeah.
The sale of the horses brought in around $5 million. And when eventually Rita's assets were liquidated and her belongings were auctioned off, the total was around 10 million, which I mean, I'm thinking some people at the auction really scored.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder where her house in Florida was. What kinda house that was.
I don't know. But I'm thinking when I'm old and, retired, maybe I'm going to be one of those auction people. I'm going to go
Oh,
around to the
to
auctions.
go to them?
Yeah. I
So
don't have the time now.
my uncle went to an auction, and he used to buy containers, like storage units,
Mhm.
okay? And the people just they didn't
Yes, there's
pay
a
for
whole
him.
show on that on A&E.
Oh, yes, I know, but this is way before that. But yes,
Okay.
so he, like, one time got all this art and wanted, like,
Oh.
real
Oh,
art.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Okay. So, anyways, someday gonna get my auction on.
Yeah, you can
Okay,
get
so
some
the
good
$10 million they recouped from her assets, at that point just covered the debts the city currently owed.
stuff.
And the lawyer fees they also owed because the city decided to sue the auditors and the bank for not doing their due diligence.
And did
City
they
didn't want to
lose?
take all the heat.
Yeah.
No, they settled for $30 million.
Wow, no way.
So all in all, they basically recouped 20 million of the 53 million.
Listen, I think that's pretty good.
It doesn't suck, but also, they raised the point that when she was taking these millions of dollars in like 1992, those dollars would have gone a lot further then, so the figure is even more than 53 million.
Yeah, but it's better than I think what's gonna happen with the Tom Girardi case,
Oh.
Erica Jane, they're gonna get 0. They have
Oh my god, don't
nothing.
even we're gonna have to talk about her more on Patreon, but don't even get me started. I
Yeah,
can't
okay.
believe people are still feeling sorry for her. Give me
No,
a break.
sorry.
Oh my god. And the latest is she is so upset over she thinks that the worst thing ever is that people think her divorce from him is a scam. It's like, get
It
an
is.
effing clue. Who cares if people think that your divorce is a scam? That is the least of your problems, Erica. The problem is people lost their children, their spouses. They are they need medical help for the rest of their life, and you took their money. That is a much bigger deal than anyone having anything to say about your divorce.
Yeah.
You are a bad person.
Who cares anyways, like, what people think, right? It's like, she is a bad person.
She is with the crocodile tears, and it all seems so calculated to me.
Oh, I saw that.
I do not feel a bit sorry for her.
No.
Not buying it, Erica Jane. Okay, back to the story. Rita pled guilty and was sentenced to 19 years in federal prison and was ordered to pay $106 million in restitution. They came up with that figure because she stole 53 million and then they said we're going to double it.
Okay. But she doesn't have any money and she's in jail, so
Well,
she's
no.
not
Yeah, no, no, no,
actually gonna
no.
pay it.
That's right. She will be 76 when her release date in 2029 comes up. There is no current mugshot of her available at the Pekin prison site, which is a bummer because I would love to get a current look at her.
Mhm.
Okay, now let me tell you a couple of additional interesting things that I came across about what the fallout of all this was for her boyfriend and her family. So in 2015, the government learned of a storage unit that Rita's boyfriend had with some of her stuff still in it, which was all supposed to have been seized.
Okay.
Okay. So they went ahead and seized it. So her boyfriend then tried to sue the government for the $3,600 that he had paid in storage fees for his lady friend's things. And then he tacked on another $362 because he said he had checked up on the things and that he wanted to be reimbursed for the gas mileage he
Oh
had
my God.
incurred
You
while
are
doing
kidding
so.
me.
No.
Come on.
Can you believe
No,
that?
I can't believe that. And I can't even imagine ever thinking that that was something you could do ever.
That is ballsy.
I know.
I mean, he had a couple of trinkets left over from the days when Rita was
Oh,
a
100%.
baller,
Yeah.
right? And he had benefited likely. You'd think you'd want to be a little more low
Under the radar.
profile,
Yeah.
especially he's still got a horse ranch business. It's like whenever you put this out there, then it's like, oh, yeah, you were linked to this, you know,
Yeah.
fraud chick, did the people dirty.
Yeah.
I, well, okay. The judge dismissed his claim. But yeah, I mean, Jim McKiltick
My
got
God.
some balls.
Yeah, he does.
Okay. He has repeatedly declined to comment as to whether or not him and Rita are still an item. So, I mean, I found him on Facebook. He appears to still be single.
Okay. So he's
I
probably
mean,
still with her waiting
maybe. I don't know. Okay.
8 more years.
Yeah.
Can she get out early?
No,
No.
it's not looking good.
Okay.
So then there's the matter of her family. Rita was one of 6 kids, by the way. So when Rita got locked up, they didn't just let Rita's sh- family keep Rita's share of the family business. Her family had to pay the government $665,000 for her share. I mean, that's something you
The
don't think about.
20% of the business?
Yeah.
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 Uh-huh.
Yeah. So her nephew was approved for a bank loan to buy her 80-acre pristine horse facility for his show cattle business for $1.1 million at auction.
Mhm.
He said he has spoken to Rita and she's fine, but says he was shown no favoritism when he bought the property at the auction. I mean, this is why I really like question, like, how much did y'all know? I mean, you would think they might want to distance themselves from Rita's reputation and the ranch. I mean, there's a lot of property out there,
Yeah. And if they yeah.
especially
Weird.
if you have $1.1 million to spend. But I mean, I guess not. I also found that until 2016, Miss Rita was still earning about $15,000 a year annually from breeding rights to her horses until the government stepped in and
Took
figured
that.
out how to get their hands on that money.
Yeah.
I don't know who had been collecting the money from 2012 to 2016. I mean,
But
but I, somebody was, right? In May 2020, Rita appealed the courts to release her early due to COVID. Mayor Burke wrote an impact statement to combat her appeal, saying that her ego driven, over the top lifestyle is indefensible while she sat by and watched city employees go years without raises and the budgets being slashed. I read the whole letter. It was good. Her appeal was denied. The city of Dixon has a new mayor. The position pays $9,600 a year. Right?
Yeah,
That's the
that's
thing, is
so
that,
you're doing it
everybody is
for the
so
people.
mad at the city council and the mayor or all these people, but all these people, I mean, being the city council person in these small towns is basically charity. I mean,
Yeah,
most of them make like $3,000 a year for doing it. They all have their own businesses or jobs, so they're not keeping tabs on the
just
city
like being on the
comptroller.
board of
Right,
something,
yeah.
right?
Miss Kath, the whistleblower,
Mhm.
retired in 2016. So that's what everybody's up to. I mean, that's a whop.
Wow. Good case, Gretchy, I like it.
Yeah, I don't think a listener has ever suggested a fraud case before,
I l
and I love a good fraud. We
Me
both
too.
do.
Yeah.
So, people, seriously, keep them
If you
coming.
know
You
some
good
fraudsters.
frauds. We love
Yeah,
them. Yeah.
we really do. We also really like when you guys tell your friends about us. So last week we asked you to tell a friend, and if you didn't, or you want to tell another friend, please text them right now and say, "Hey, listen to Housewives of True Crime. I bet you will like it." And then you know what is good? Then you guys can
It's so
talk to each
shameless.
other others about us. Gretchen hates doing this shit, but you know what? Um, she
It's
likes
okay.
when
Somebody's
we
gotta do it.
yeah. She likes when we get new listeners. Um,
True.
yeah. So, you guys also, what I'm saying is like Gretchen and I
Uh-huh.
listen to something, watch TV, then we call each other and talk about it. It gives like friendships something to talk about. Um, just saying. Not that Gretchen likes to talk on the phone to anybody but me.
Yeah, that's true. I really, hate talking on the phone, and people are always like, "Yeah, but you talk to Tabitha." I'm like, "Yeah, but I Tabitha and I are, in it so deep that she doesn't I don't care if I have to, yell at my kids in front of her or, go pee or, anything, it doesn't
I'll be like ordering a
matter."
Starbucks. I don't even have to tell Gretchen, hold on or put it
Yeah,
on
I
mute.
just,
I'll just
I got
wait.
this. Yeah.
um, so anyways, let me give you some shout outs to Audrey Capo. Thank you so much. Uh, Gretchen, I did your thing. I put my stuff in a podcast folder. Aren't I so
Good
good?
job.
Um, military murder girl. She's did something real cute for us. We've gotten a lot of good cases
Well,
from you
listen, if you're
guys.
in the military murder girl, thank you for your service.
Yes, the Heather Ashley, thank you for shouting us out. Somehow Jerry Gibson, thank you. You guys, Gretchen gave me this really good idea to put all these things in a folder. Gail McKenzie, thank you.
Thanks,
But
Gail.
I must have messed up because all I see here, like, I see a birthday party invitation from my son. Not so good. Gretchen's pounding her head on to her microphone right now because,
It's not that complicated.
dude, obviously is more complicated than I had anticipated. Um, you guys, the cicadas at my house are dying. Are they dying at your house? If you have them, if you're in Texas, you for sure do.
I actually am pretty impressed that you say that word cicada and you don't
Why?
say it all stupid. It sounds like a smart
It
insect
sounds like a
word.
smart word.
You're like a biologist since you moved to Texas.
I sent Gretchen some pictures, I'll post them. What they do
I'm sure they're
is
waiting with bated breath.
they're falling out of the tree and then they have like a
It's
seizure.
disgusting.
It's aggressive.
It's disgusting.
And Gretchen thinks it's like it's kind of the circle of life. I show you the shell and then I showed you the actual bug that comes out of its shell and then flies up into the tree.
I'm not curious, by the way. She just sends me this shit.
I know. I could send you some other stuff too if you want.
No, It's fine.
I will anyways.
Yeah.
By the way, let me tell you something really
Mhm.
quickly, which I would just tell you on the phone, but everybody else wants to hear. I'm getting some yard work done, and so I had to park in front of my neighbor's house, right? The mail person put a note in her mailbox that said, "Move your car." This is not Texas friendly, first of all.
You know
And
what? I hate neighbors like that. Here's the thing.
no, 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 the mail person put it. The like mailman wouldn't deliver her mail, put a note that said, "Move your car."
No.
Y- So she sends me a picture and it's like, "Hey, I think you're parking in front, like we have a little street, da da da. Your workers, da da da. Like your mail's not coming." I'm like, dude, if the mail
It's a
person
public
could,
street.
and if the mail person can stick a piece of paper in your mailbox
Then
and
they
not
can get
blocking,
out and
yes,
whatever.
deliver your mail.
Yeah.
I think I'm
I
gonna
had that
call the
shit happen
mailman.
when we lived in um, a place closer to the beach before this. Very crowded. My husband was in a bad mood perpetually because parking was always a situation where we lived. So you're lucky to park anywhere, let alone like, I mean, if you get to park in front of your house, like you're gonna park in front of your house. That's how it is.
Right.
And the mail person was like, I don't appreciate you guys parking in front of your house.
What?
Yeah. Cause I have to get out of my car to go to your mailbox. And I was like, tough tits.
Okay. I mean, it is what it is.
I'm a compassionate person, but isn't that kind of like I really appreciate the postal workers. I do. But I would think that one of the benefits of being a postal worker is you get all your fucking steps in.
By the
I'm
way,
just helping.
sometimes I see the postal workers that actually just like push the cart. There's still people that do that. And I think it's because they do want their steps,
I
you
think it
know?
would be a nice job.
I think so too. But
Unless you're afraid of dogs or something, then I mean that seems bad. I do have a friend that is like married to a postal worker and her husband is bitten by dogs like 3 times.
no way.
Yeah. Sucks. He's
Maybe
like super cool about it, but it's like, damn.
I would carry dog mace or something.
Yeah. Ew.
um, all right, you all.
All right.
Hopefully everybody had a fabulous weekend. We are just starting ours. So hopefully I have a fabulous weekend on the craps table.
I'm
That's
gonna
where
go
we'll
get
you'll find
some
me.
a hormone pellet stuck in my ass. So I'll
Oh my
talk about it a
god.
lot on Patreon if anyone is interested.
Oh my god. Wait, are you going today?
Yeah,
Do they stick it in your ass?
I
No.
think so. I
I
don't think
think
they
they
stick
stick
it
it
up
up
your
your
like
hoo-ha.
butthole, but no, they don't even do that. They like cut your butt and they like have to
What?
stitch it up.
No freaking way.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't wait to hear all about it on Patreon. Follow us on Housewives of True Crime Instagram, Housewives of True Crime group on Facebook, and listen to us on Patreon if you want to hear more about Gretchen's ass. Clink, clink.
Yeah, totally. Okay, clink,
Clink,
clink.
clink.